Good evening. My name is Nirmal. I'm the founder and president of Beantown Beacons, which is just a fancy term in the startup world for saying I do all the work but don't get paid. So I'm here to introduce one of our products called Beep, which is a beacon-enabled events platform for data-driven decision-making for events and conferences. So why this space? So there's a couple of reasons. So 20 to 25% of your marketing budget is actually set aside for events and conferences, and that translates to actually about $30 to $35 billion just on the tech side of it. Right now, this investment relies on anecdotal information that is subjective and often inaccurate, right? It's entrenched in manual processes like scanning badges and data entry. We're all wearing one right now. And it has no meaningful ROI. Technology actually has been used at events and conferences. You've all seen QR codes. Well, they're all antiquated right now. Nobody uses them. NFC, another technology that has been used at events and conferences, but it's not universally supported. So iOS devices, unfortunately, don't have NFC enabled, although Apple uses it. And RFID, although you can track, so from an organizer standpoint, you have value, but it doesn't enhance the attendee experience. Oh, nice to see you again. So we said, how is this process working out right now? So we all, arrive at the conference and we check in. We get one of these badges. We've all had one. We're wearing one right now. Exhibitors usually put out a fishbowl for you to drop in a business card to win some tchotchkes. Or you are sometimes asked to tap your phone onto an NFC receiver so that they can track that interaction between the attendee and the exhibitor, or the organizer and the attendee. Or some of us love to do this. I won't say who it is, but that person seems to be enjoying it. Thank you, Chris, for that. So we said, okay, is there a way we can track every attendee interaction? We can measure dwell time, so how long an attendee spends in a particular location. We can trigger some push notifications based on their proximity, which also allows for geofencing, and it doesn't have any of the drawbacks of the old technology, and it is something that's battery friendly. Well, there is an option, and it's called beacons, right? So we use these Bluetooth low energy devices that allow us to geofence and do all of these other things and track every attendee interaction. So we developed a event mobile app and an attendee analytics platform called Beep to give us actionable metrics, behavioral insights, and optimized performance. So Beep has 4 different parts. So I won't bore you with all the details, but the first one is the CMS, which is used by organizers to actually set up all that event-related content. The next one is beacons, which is something that we take care of deploying the beacons at the target location. So if you look at the background and you see this huge venue, we would deploy maybe 20, 30 beacons around the facility, like this one, to be able to track attendee interactions. We have the mobile app, which is a full-featured app that includes the agenda, the session information, surveys, social chatter, and everything else that you can imagine and come to expect of a mobile app. So that's the attendee-facing side. And then we have the dashboard that actually shows you what people are doing at your event, down to the very second. So that makes up Beep. The different benefits for organizers, exhibitors, and attendees are listed here, but some of it could be, you could automate the check-in process. So as soon as you arrive at the check-in desk upstairs, your phone could just give you a virtual badge saying you've been checked in, and you can lose this. We're able to track an attendee when they enter your booth. So an exhibitor could actually set up some smart alerts to say, somebody in the purchasing role from a Fortune 500 company just stopped by your booth, so you may want to go see who it is. And it may show you your profile picture. You can potentially skip the line, as I mentioned. You can also enjoy a highly personalized experience. So you can create a library of content based on your dwell time as you're visiting these different booths. So these are all the different benefits from the different perspectives and which stakeholder it is in the ecosystem. So if I were to tell you 3 things, last 15 seconds, it measures entry and exit interactions. It allows us to measure the dwell time, and it allows you to trigger all kinds of content that it could include discounts and offers as well. This is our team. That's where we are on the web. If you have an event or a conference you'd like us to host on our platform, get in touch, please. And if you have any questions, I'm available now.
Do attendees need to be actively running an app on their phone, or are you just tracking Bluetooth beacons?
The app needs to be running on their phone, but it can be running in the background. It'll still push you notifications. Yes?
Can you white label that app so I can rebrand it for my event?
Yes.
Repeat it.
Oh, sorry. The question was, can you rebrand the app? And the answer is yes, we can rebrand the app to white label it to a specific need or an event.
What's the incentive for the person to load the app in the first place?
That's a great question. What is the incentive for the attendee to load the app on their phone? So this is a holy grail of every mobile app creator is how do you get on somebody's phone? So there's different incentives that we've tried in the past. Organic is just sort of requesting that they download it because they're going to be able to consume the agenda for the event or the conference that they're at. The other one is to involve other members in the ecosystem, so exhibitors, and offer exclusives that are delivered just through and inside the app. So that's how you can incentivize them. And hopefully once the ecosystem grows large enough, you are attending today's event and you might be at another Mass Innovation Nights event, for example. And if we are in both places, that might be an incentive enough for you to keep that app running on your phone because you're going to use it about 3 days from now. Yep. Yeah, so the question is the size of the geofence area where beacons allow us to actually go all the way from 5 feet all the way up to 230 feet. So it's a pretty wide range depending on the size and format of the venue, of the booth inside the venue. We can geofence short or wide.
How granular is the data that you're maintaining? Privacy is obviously something I would expect to come up as an issue.
Yeah, so privacy is a concern, but my personal opinion is this is the equivalent of using cookies in the late 90s, where everybody was concerned about saying, okay, well, you can receive a personal experience, but we're going to drop a cookie on your desktop. So if you accept that cookie, your experience is personalized, but we're also tracking what you're doing on the website. So this is the physical equivalent of that. Privacy is a concern, so we're not sharing the data, for example, across exhibitors. So if I'm capturing data that is sitting in a beacon associated with a particular booth, I'm not sharing across. So there's a layer of isolation there. So we're only sharing interactions generated from the HP booth and keeping it to HP versus sharing it with somebody else. But the organizer, we would feed them pretty much everything, but on an aggregate basis. So we have a tiered model, just like anybody else. So it depends on the number of beacons that we're deploying at the event or the conference. So we have 3 different plans starting at $2,500 per event. And then we also have a light version of it, which doesn't have any beacons, so you can still use the app and all of the features that come with it, minus the beacon, so we don't have to go travel to the location. And that's called Beep Light. That starts at like $500. Yes, for the conference. Yeah, just like this conference, like Chris has all the information, he would have access to the same information. Yeah. Average. So the question is how many beacons at an event? Is that a good translation? It all depends on the format and the scale of the event. So some annual events might require several hundred beacons. Some small events, we're doing one on Monday, which is an annual conference, probably expecting about 350 attendees at Bentley. We might be able to do away with like 40 beacons total. Again, remember the question earlier was, how far can we geofence these? So we can get creative, and we don't need as many beacons. If I'm just tracking people in this room, I can deploy probably 4 beacons and track every individual here. Any other questions? So we're still pre-revenue. Yeah, go ahead.
So from the experience so far, in terms of the people attend this event, that you involve with wider percentage of people actually download the apps through this event.
Great question. We've seen 34% downloads for event attendees that we've hosted. Average industry is 56% right now, and obviously it's going to clearly go up. All right, I'm out of time. Thank you, guys.